Hello everybody and welcome to Vatawc number 33. That's right. I want to thank everybody for that number 32 video and all the views it's still getting. So thank you very much for checking it out. And from that video of getting my hair shaved off, I still have the comb. Maybe I should use it because there's really no hair there. It's just more to itch maybe. I don't know. So, let's get started. Let's do this. This video is going to be about the 2014 midterm elections. Why? Because it's 4 years later and today is the 2018 midterm elections. And I'm kind of curious if the same thing's going to happen as what happened in 2014. That's right, not very many people even showed up to vote. Let's find out why. Check this out.
So let's look at the population of Illinois. It hasn't changed much from 2014, but we're pushing about 12.8 million people. That's how many people live here in Illinois. Let's start with that number. They don't all vote, and here's why. One of the more obvious breakout reasons that not all 12.8 million people vote, some of them are not old enough to vote yet. So here in Illinois, back in 2014, 23% of the population, or 2.9 million, they just were not old enough yet. So that left 9.8 million people, or 77%, left that were actually old enough and could vote. Let's take a look at that number and see who showed up at the polls in 2014. There's a percent of the population, like 9%, as this chart shows, that even they were old enough to vote, they were just not eligible to vote. And there's a lot of reasons behind that. I could do a whole video about why someone would become ineligible. There's felony reasons, there's lots of reasons, but there's 9%, they were just old enough, they were just not eligible. But look at that gray area. 62% of the population of Illinois just chose not to. Didn't vote at all. That was 6.2 million people did not go. So what did that leave us with? In the green area, that left us with 27%. 3.6 million people picked who was going to be in office for the 12.8 million people that live in Illinois. It's interesting because if you're running for an office, that's what you want. You look at that green sector and say, we don't have to win 50% of 12.8 million people. We just got to get the most votes out of what's in that green sector right there. Yep.
And there was your Illinois stats, right? What about on a nationwide scale? Let's do that same thing all over again. Instead of just one state, how was it looking on a nationwide scale of all of America in 2014? Let's take a look.
So talking about this on a nationwide scale, the midterm election in 2014, the USA population is pretty much still the same. A little over 319 million people live here in the United States. There's your trivia for the day. Let's find out how that broke out the same way as Illinois. Why people didn't vote. Let's take a look at that. Well, the first obvious breakout that we did for the Illinois pie chart, I used it here. So 23% of the population just were not old enough to vote yet. That's 73 million. That kind of coincides with Illinois. And just like our Illinois state chart that I had up, there's a percentage, in this case, a 7% of people, they were just not eligible to vote. They were of age, but they still could not vote. That left the big gray area. 64% of who could vote did not, just didn't go. So how many people did that actually leave? There you have it. In 2014, on a nationwide scale, 25% of the people who could vote, or 83 million people, actually went out there and they voted. And once again, when running for office, you have people that can look and try and refine who's in that green sector and how can they make themselves more prominent to people that are in that sector. Because the people who go to the polls are the ones that get people elected. So that's who you want. So 83 million people picked and got people in office for 319 million. Isn't that amazing? Absolutely amazing. Let's get back to the real video. See you in a second.
Well, there you have it. Hope you enjoyed the quick stats. This is 2018. Let's see how it turns out. So you can watch your media or your Google it and see with your newfound knowledge of 2014 midterms if people showed up this time like they didn't show up in 2014. That's right. Hit the subscribe button, tell your friends, or the like button, leave a comment. As always, love y'all. Come on back.